What's up guys? Welcome back to Fridays in Footballita with me Ash, and this week, what a crazy week for football as usual. You know, sometimes I feel like the pandemic is going on but football still remains in a very diluted bubble. Okay, so let's go to our first story, which is all the way in Milan. It's a nice city, I've been there, like I said, great stadium, but they've got to clean it a little bit. Speaking of the stadium, they had Coppa Italia there on Tuesday between the big Milan teams. But besides the fact that Inter won a 2-1 thanks to an Eriksen goal, the thing that really caught everyone's eye was when the drama between Zlatan and Lukaku, which happened apparently right before halftime. So the microphones picked up Zlatan accusing Lukaku of voodoo. He was like, go do your voodoo, man. So the reason why Zlatan, who is always, as we know, quite cheeky anyway when it comes to trolling players on the pitch, he said, so go do your voodoo, because he was referring to a 2018 remark made by Everton owner Farhad Moshiri, that really he said Lukaku had turned down an offer to stay at Everton because he was getting a voodoo message, which alludes to, of course, witchcraft. It's kind of funny that Ibra actually brought it up. He must have been really angry to have to actually make those kind of accusations or to actually bring it up, because that really, to be honest, came out of nowhere. On top of the fact that, of course, AC Milan were losing and Zlatan got a red card because of his challenge on Kolarov, and on top of that, before that, he got a yellow card as well. So it was just so much happening at that time and so much happening at that game. So I wouldn't say that that's justified. Because Lukaku actually came back to say something about Zlatan's wife and kids, I think. I'm not going to go much into detail about that, but sometimes it's important to keep your class in a game. Just keep your cool, Zlatan. So of course, in true Zlatan style, he put out a statement and he just said, in Zlatan's world, there is no place for racism. We are all the same race, we are all equal, we are all players, some better than others. Of course, he had to say the last line because that is like peak Zlatan, you know. So guys, speaking of AC Milan, I just got an email from the team themselves. You guys can see for yourself here. Woohoo! Isn't that cool? So apparently Milan sent me a press release about one of their Spanish female players, Veronica, Boquete, who said, with a lot of swag, I can imagine, she said, in 10 years time, I could be coaching a men's team. Woohoo! I like that girl. So Veronica, of course, is from Galicia, and when she does her goal celebrations, it's called the Octopus Goal Celebration, because she says it reminds her of the region where she's from in Spain. The quote that really stood out to me in the release was whether she wants to coach a women's or men's team. She doesn't know yet. However, if I want to coach a men's team, why not? She said, in 10 years time, I could be coaching a men's team. You can definitely follow that Hong Kong coach who is the first ever female to coach a men's team. Guys, it takes a lot of guts to look after and to coach a men's team. You know, it's pretty sure that Veronica, if she's got the will, she definitely can find the way. So yeah, for sure, we are supporting Veronica in her quest to coach men's football. Hit me up, girl, if you need an agent. Moving on to the La Liga, guys. Did you know that Barcelona are in like a huge pile of debt? And this dates all the way back to Arturo Vidal as well as Philippe Coutinho. So Barcelona apparently owe $1.5 billion, I believe, to their lenders, of course, or their investors. So this is a lot of money, but it's of course very common in football. This does not in any way justify the fact that they have wages dating back to Arturo Vidal like 3 seasons ago. Even Coutinho's like entire wage has not been paid. So many of you who ask me about players' wages, here's a little bit of indicator for you. Sometimes it's just fluff and not actual substance. So apparently Vidal is still burning a hole in the pocket of the club. They still have 950,000 euros left to pay Bayern for that transfer. On top of that, the Catalans also have an outstanding transfer payment worth 196 million euros, and up to like 40 million of that is owed to Philippe Coutinho. Oh yikes, that's a lot of money. But of course, they're not the only club. Atletico Madrid in Spain, of course, have reached a crazy debt of US 1.19 billion following the 2019-2020 season. Of course, a lot of it went into investing, and they've also got new owners, I believe. In the Premier League, of course, United have owed around 700 million ever since they were taken over by the Glazers. Let's go back to Barcelona now. This amount of debt is crazy. On any standards, you would think that they're recouping their losses back. This is very business speak right now. But of course, 2020 2020 has been crazy for all of us, not just in football, but not getting any gate receipts on investments, a lot of advertisers pulling back. Maybe even a bit of TV rights money affected there. The very fact that their players are still not getting paid from transfers done 3 seasons ago tells you a lot about the industry as a whole. A lot of it is let's wait until the next season and let's try and clear this debt. But it's a very significant financial problem that a club like Barcelona are going through at the moment. Again, as you guys know, in my last episode, I wore a Real Madrid jersey. This does not mean that I'm trying to shade Barcelona. I'm in no way trying to do that. I'm just trying to understand how they're operating their expenses. Selling Lionel Messi would be the fantastic option or the best option for them now. Of course, he's an asset to them even though he's already 33 years old. Strangely enough, I don't have any information on Real Madrid's debt because, as you guys know, they're very good at covering up, their stuff. However, I don't think it's any different from any of these clubs that I just mentioned. It might be around the same range. Now moving on to the Premier League, Man U fans, I'm sorry about that loss to Sheffield yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. Lowly team on the table. I know you guys were expected to win, but as predicted, Man City are top of the table. As I said, do not lose focus because things are changing at the speed of light. West Ham are suddenly back on the top 6, which is making a few of my friends happy, I know that. They are top 6 in the table right now. What if they play Champions League next season, guys? This is so exciting. I love it. I love this about the Premier League. It's so unpredictable. You know what's funny? Whenever you're confident in the team, I'm not even a United fan by the way, but if you're confident of a win, they end up doing the complete opposite. Or is it just me? We're already seeing it going into Arsenal and United this week, and there are going to be a couple of injuries on Arsenal's side. To be honest with you, I'm losing a little bit of respect for Arsenal because of the Ozil situation. The disrespect that they showed Ozil, come on guys, that is not the way you treat a player of 8 years. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the matter for now. Let's move on to the game, Arsenal and United at the weekend. Arteta has actually announced that 2 players, or rather 3 I think, has been ruled out due to injuries, and that is Aubameyang as well as Tierney. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game to watch, guys. Interestingly, the Gunners are also the last team that beat United in the Premier League, if you guys remember that game. So definitely United will want to avenge that loss. Of course, Mourinho has come out to say that he's the worst treated manager. He feels that he's the worst treated manager in the Premier League now compared to Jurgen Klopp and the rest. He feels that the media are unfairly targeting him. But let's just be honest, we love Mourinho's Instagram post. Is always so random, showing us like excerpts of his day. I know that he's got a great PR team behind him. In fact, I know the guys who run Mourinho's PR. But yeah, you can't go wrong. Come on, like this kind of videos of him just standing in front of the snow. Now, I guess my favorite kind of content is like this, when Mourinho just puts, the fireplace up at the Tottenham Lodge. That's so random. We never get this kind of behind the scenes footage. I think those people who want to hate Mourinho are secretly stalking his Instagram profile and secretly liking all his funny AF like posts, because I really do enjoy watching a behind the scenes look at what a great manager he is. Now moving closer to home, of course, the AFC Cup and Champions League draw has been finalized earlier this week. Definitely will be keeping an eye on Group I as well as Group H, because Group H will have a Singapore team, Lion City Sailors, taking on Kedah in Malaysia. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Group I, of course, will have Terengganu taking on another Singapore team, Geylang. Now, one group that you guys kind of fought to miss in the AFC Champions League is Group F. That is the unofficial, or rather official, group of death, because some crazy teams are going to be playing one another, including Vietnamese League champions Viettel FC. They will be playing against BG Pathum in Thailand, as well as South Korean giants Ulsan Hyundai. Of course, Ulsan Hyundai won the ACL in 2020. They beat many strong teams, including Persepolis in Iran, as well as Vissel Kobe in Japan. Speaking of BG Pathum, who are also in the group of death, they are absolutely in high form. Do not write them off. She just won 7 of their last recent games. The remaining team that will make Group F will be either a contender from Australia, China, or the Philippines. And also, guys, interestingly, this year the 2021 AFC Champions League will see 40 teams compete in the group stage, which is really an increase of 8 teams compared to the last tournament. So there's going to be 1 extra group in the East as well as the West group. So definitely, I can't wait to watch this year's AFC Cup as well as Champions League. So stay tuned for that, guys. Definitely some great action, especially if you guys want to know who are up and coming talents in our region. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Next week, we're gonna get your comments and also as well as your requests back on the show. So stay tuned for that and have a great weekend, guys!